Hi! Welcome to this week's Ask Ashley. Sorry, I was setting up a second camera just in case we want to use any of this live as tidbits for reels and shorts and TikToks and all the things. We're working smarter, not harder over here. I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your week. I hope you can hear me. Sierra, do you know? Or I think we should be good. I'll check the private chat. Should be good though. My mic is on. My camera's on. We should all be. Hi, Dwayna. Welcome. Hi, Sweet Creek Patterns. I think that's Emily. Hello. Welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here. If you want to tell me where you are watching from in the comments, I'm in Kentucky. It was unusually warm here today. It was like 50, 55, 57, almost 60. So Ava and I spent literally 6 minutes outside because that was the only time that I had before I had to start cooking dinner so I could have dinner done by the time Gabe got home and then eat dinner by the time we do Ask Ashley. So I had exactly 6 minutes. Thank you, Totally Yarnsome. Poland. Wow. Hello, Poland. Tennessee. You. Binge watching your vlogs. I'm from Montreal. Thank you, Angela. California. Another Californian. Welcome. I'm so excited you guys are here. Oh, I thought I saw like an angry face. So I thought maybe I would be able to respond with emojis, but that's not what that was. Okay, let's go ahead. You can go ahead and start asking your questions now. Sierra is hanging out in the chat. So if you see a crafty concept in the chat, that is Sierra. She is my virtual assistant, my team member, and she will be helping us throughout the live today. Hello, New York. Helping us throughout the live. She will be giving us links that I mention and helping to flag your questions so I'll be able to answer them and all kinds of good stuff. So we are super thankful for Sierra, and we can go ahead and get started. And we only have one question so far, and it's a really fast one. So go ahead and start getting those questions in. That way we're not just sitting here staring at each other, but we'll stare at each other. I can get out a whip and we can crochet together and it will be fun. So Totally Yarnsome asks us, are you going to take payments this year for Crochet Boss? Yes, I am. You can pay in full or you can pay in 2 payments. There's a 7-day money back guarantee. So you can cancel within 7 days if you do the 2 payments, or you can get a refund within 7 days. But after that, there's no canceling, and your second payment will be on automatic draw. So you get to go basically through the first module, so you can be extra sure that your learning style is cohesive with my teaching style, because I do not want anybody there that doesn't like the way I teach, because it's not going to be the best use of your funds, right? And we all have limited monies, and there's no need to be wasting them on courses that aren't going to serve you well. So you have a 7-day money back guarantee to join Crochet Boss Academy. We are offering pay in full or 2 payments. And I will give you a little spoiler alert right now. The pay in full option will come with a fun bonus. That is pay in full option only. Hello, welcome. How do you, here we go. Thank you. Ooh, there we go. Okay, let me see. Showing the question. This is from Courtney, and she says, how do you schedule your work and family time plus crochet just for fun? That's a very good question, Courtney. So the current season that I'm in now, I work from 6 a.m. to 1:40, Monday through Friday. It's not enough. I will tell you, I would say probably like 7 a.m. after I do all the things. I get up at 6 a.m., but I probably start working from 7 a.m. to 1:40. Every now and then I get to sneak back in here in the evenings and get a little bit more work done, maybe another hour most days. In the weekends, I usually don't work unless we're not doing anything. And we're just like, if they're just sitting at home watching TV, Gabe and Ava, I don't like to watch TV. So if they're in there watching TV, I'm going to be in here working. Like, that's just not my idea of a fun time. So I will not be doing that. But previous seasons was much different. When Ava was little, I just worked whenever I could. And it was not, and I would get up early. I would stay up late. I would work during bath time. I would work during nap time. Like, it was just a lot. but I was extremely passionate about what I was doing. And I wasn't even teaching people at that point. I was selling finished pieces and I was loving every second of it. And I just really like connecting with customers and meeting strangers and sending them things. Like I love the whole idea of it, right? So I was hustling because I loved it so much and it brought me joy. And I was blessed enough to, when I started my business, my why was just to help me feel like I'm helping with the finances. So supplemental income, just even if I just paid for the groceries each month. I was a stay-at-home mom and I wanted to make sure, I wanted to feel like I was helping financially for our family. So that's why I started my business. Basically, I started a little bit earlier than that after I graduated college, but I didn't open my Etsy shop until I became a stay-at-home mom. So we'll go from there. So then once I pivoted my business from selling finished pieces to pattern design and then kind of like a mini pivot to education, like teaching you guys how to run your businesses, that's when my passion extremely exploded, because teaching you guys how to build and grow your businesses, nothing lights me up more than that. Like this lights me up 10 times more than making and selling finished pieces ever did. This is my absolute favorite thing to do. So I'm surprised that I was able to hustle that hard. I mean, if I had only known how I would feel doing this compared to doing that, I don't know if I would have been able to hustle that hard, because this is 10 times more fulfilling for me, joy-giving, life-giving, energy-giving for me than selling finished pieces was. But to each his own, and I'm here to help you sell finished pieces. So how do I schedule? I work while I was in school, and that's basically it. I will say too, there's different seasons in the year, like different seasons of business. So right now I'm in promotional phase for Crochet Boss Academy. So I'm trying to work more. It's not happening as much as I would like. Like if it were up to me, I would eat, sleep, and breathe in my craft room, and Gabe would bring me food and like set it by the door. And that's all that I would do. So I'm trying to work more right now and give myself the grace to do that. So if I work on a Saturday and I'm not spending time with my family, I don't let the mom guilt take over. I say, I'm just in promotional phase right now. As soon as Crochet Boss Academy starts, my time is going to open up exponentially. So I'm giving myself the grace that I need to work a little bit more right now, or to spend a little less time with my family right now, because I'm just in a specific season and it will not last. Also, the summertime is a really slow time for crocheters. So that's a good time to like maybe not work so much, or if you're able to wrap your mind around it, prepare for winter, right? Start making all of your winter things and Christmas things, because that's the best time to do that. So then you have more stock on hand, so then you can make more sales, right? That's what we want. But it's not easy, Courtney. You have to do what's best for you and your family. When it comes to selfish crochet, right now, there's none of that. There's none of that. I'm working on, I'm going to post in the comments because it's a secret. Okay, so I posted in the comments, and that was me, not Sierra. And the thing I just posted in the comments is the only, like if I get selfish crochet time, that's what I'm working on. So I can't design anything new, and I can't do some of the stuff that I've had in my head, because I need to finish that first. Because here's another secret. Okay, so that's my deadline, and hopefully I will have it finished sooner rather than later. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen in my stories what it is I'm talking about. But you gotta do what's best for you, Courtney, and you gotta give yourself the grace to do that in either direction. Like if your business is, if you're not able or willing to put as much energy into your business right now with your current season, give yourself the grace and the room you need to grow in that space. That's okay. There's no guilt. Whichever direction you go, there's no guilt. Give yourself grace and know that you're making the best decision that you can for your current season of life. Okay. Thank you, Courtney, for your question. Next up is Nicole. Can I ask any crochet related answer? Any advice for the safety eyes? Those make me so anxious. Sorry. Crochet related answer. Any advice for the safety eyes? So with safety eyes, I always put a disclaimer in my Etsy listing and then in my packaging like a little piece of paper insert that says, for kids 3 years and older, never leave. It does contain choking hazards for children 3 years or younger should not be left alone with this thing. But that's as best as I can do. And I am not a lawyer, and that is not legal advice. That is just what I have done so far. And it's never been an issue. Praise the Lord, nobody has ever gotten choked on anything that I've created. Something that you could potentially do is use some like E6000. So when you use a safety eye, you've got the one side and the other side, and it goes with your work is in between the two sides, right? This is the best way I can describe it. But you could put some glue if you wanted to, like right here on the back piece of your safety eye, and then glue it if you wanted to. That would kind of help make it extra secure. Or if you just want to stay away from it completely, you can glue on felt eyes. That might be a little bit strong too, but it could still be pulled off. Those kids are crafty. They could get it off of there. It's difficult because it fuses with the fibers of the yarn. So it's extremely difficult to get the thing off of there. If they can get that off, then they could probably chew through the yarn itself. Like the whole entire thing is a choking hazard if they can get them felt eyes off. But you can also do embroidered eyes if you are not comfortable doing safety eyes. So there's plenty of options. Next up, we said, oh wait, here we go. I'm interested in Crochet Boss Academy. This is from Andrea. And also have a farm business. Would the course help me with both? So Andrea, the course is going to teach you a lot of business things. And the business things, like the marketing, the social media, the email list, the branding, the ideal customer, all of that stuff is going to be the same no matter what business you're in. Besides like factory owner. I feel like that's the only thing that some of that stuff would not apply to, is like a factory owner. Gabe works at a factory, and that's the first example that I could think of that would not be helpful for the business stuff that I teach inside of Crochet Boss Academy. But any other business, it will be helpful. If you only had a farm business and you were not a crochet finished piece seller, I would say Crochet Boss Academy is not the course for you. If it were me, I would want to choose a course that is 100% designed for me and who I am and where I'm at in my business. Like that's what I would want to do, 100%. I ain't fixing to make no like, was it like deals or concessions. I ain't doing that with my money. If I'm investing in something, especially something expensive, it will be 100% something that I need. And Crochet Boss Academy would not be 100% something that you need for a farm business. But if you also have a crochet business selling finished pieces, then you will learn a whole lot of stuff that you can take over into your farm business as well. Absolutely. The Etsy, the two of the 6 modules, so a quarter or a third of the course is dedicated to Etsy, and that will not help your farm business unless you sell like digital prints of farm animals in your Etsy shop, and then you can talk about your farm that way. But that's why it's very, very specific to finished piece crochet business people. But yes, it will still help you significantly, like mind shifts, start to think about things a little bit different, starting to see things a little bit more clearly, starting to see like a big picture, like letting the puzzle pieces come together. All that stuff will still happen inside of Crochet Boss Academy. Thank you, Andrea, for your question. Oh, here's one from Nicole. She says, I would love to learn how to register my business. Is that what an LLC is for? So I started my business on Etsy in 2016. I became an LLC December 2021, like barely made it in 2021. And in all of 2022, I was an LLC for the first time in my whole life. I was a sole proprietor all the way up until then. I used my social security number, and I never needed like a tax ID number or anything like that. I just used my social security number, and I was a sole proprietor. And the only reason we switched to an LLC was because I was paying thousands of dollars into, I think it was social security tax, because I didn't have an employer. And if you work at a job separate from being your own boss, they take social security tax out of your paycheck each month. I didn't have paychecks, so they took it all out. And I paid, like, your business will also like match half of it or something. And I was paying all of it. I was paying thousands of dollars into social security, which I don't even know how that works. I don't even know where that's at. How do I get that? I have no idea. But so we switched to an LLC so I could keep more of my money right now. Like, I want to be the one who decides where I save my money. So I have it now. We also have other investments and stuff for like retirement time. Gabe does all of that. Gabe is an engineer and numbers are his thing. They're not my thing. So that being said, you do not have to be an LLC. I am not a lawyer. I am not a CPA. I am not a tax professional. This is not professional advice. This is a testimony of how I myself have had experience being a business owner. That is the disclaimer. But being an LLC was not necessary for many, many years. I was making well into the six figures when I decided that it was time to become an LLC, if that gives you any clarification. If you want to register, I highly suggest getting a CPA. And the best, if you can find a good CPA, he's going to pay for himself, because I pay my CPA and I always get tax money back when my taxes come in. I always get money back. I never have to pay money because he's a very good CPA and he helps me find all of the write-offs that I can use, helps me make smart decisions. I can email him whenever I need to all year long. If I'm like, hey, is this tax write-off or not? And help me decide to make a purchase or not. It's really, 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 really a good investment. And my guy is not just a CPA, but he's a CPA that specializes with entrepreneurs and small business owners. I would interview some, because you are hiring them. So they need to check all of your boxes, right? They are not hiring you. You are the one that needs to make the decision. So don't go into that feeling like, I hope he takes me on as a client. You need to find somebody who's a good fit for you. I would interview them. I would Google interview questions for finding the right CPA, and you will find some examples, but you definitely need one. He gets me money back every single year. He always has. I've used him for my taxes since I was 18 years old, because he did my mom's taxes for like the last 30 years. My mother is an entrepreneur. And so I, by default, got to also use his services. I was like born into it, right? And now I'm a full-fledged adult with my child and my husband, and we have our farm and all the things. And Steve is his name, and he helps us with everything. So I highly, 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 highly recommend getting a CPA. Also, when it comes to running your business, like, you could learn the tax stuff yourself. You could do it on like TurboTax or all the things that are out there. You could take a course on how to do your small business taxes, and you could buy PDFs and printables that's going to help you stay organized all year long. All of these things are available on Etsy all over the place. But when you are a small business owner, your time is your biggest asset. You cannot get more time. You can get more money. As your business grows, you will make more money, but you cannot get more time. So it's way smart. Work smarter, not harder, and hire help as soon as you can. And getting a CPA will save you all that time and energy and finances, because courses are not cheap, to learn it yourself. When your business grows anyway, you're going to need a CPA. So you might as well do it as soon as you can and try to find a really good one, because my guy is stellar and I'm super, super thankful for him. Yay. Oh, hello, Australia. I need your CPA info. He's fantastic. Are you in Kentucky, Nicole? Because you need to try to get one that's in your state. That's my goal schedule I strive for, trying to switch from working till 1 a.m. to 2. I don't feel good staying up so late. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard, Isheen. I used to do that. I stayed up till after midnight, but I slept till like 9 a.m. So you like give or take. I slept till about 8:30, because when Ava was a baby, I remember being like, there you go. I remember she'd come into my room and she'd like start talking to me. I'm like, Ava, does the clock say 8:30? And she'd be like, no, it's 7:00. Okay, don't wake mommy up until the clock says 8:30. And then she would just go like watch her iPad or TV or something in the living room. And then I would wake up at 8:30 and go into the living room, and she would have like sucker wrappers all over the place. She'd be like, I accidentally ate 3 suckers. I was like, did you accidentally? Okay, thank you. It's okay. I got to sleep till 8:30. We are fine. We are able to function now. But I did. I stayed up till 12 or 1 a.m. every single night because that 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. was my work time when Ava was a baby, because Gabe did the bedtime routine. And as soon as he got home, we had dinner, spent some time together for like an hour, and then Gabe started bedtime at like 7:30, 8 p.m., and I went to my office and worked the night away. Next question says, how do you price on items? Is it 3 times the yarn price? And this is also asked by Nicole. So she asked this one as well. So Nancy and Nicole are both getting this answer. So I talk on this probably every single live I've ever done ever. It's the most asked question. I am going to write a blog post / YouTube video about this in the future. But here's my best answer that I can give you. I don't work off of any formula. Other people do. Taylor probably does. It's just how your brain works, and it's what's important to you and how you prioritize, right? So I focus on my ideal customer. I focus on the current season of life that I'm in, my why. Like, why am I trying to make money? Am I trying to make money to pay for yarn, or am I trying to make money to pay off my house? Because those are going to be 2 different gigantic goals, like gigantically different, that's going to dictate what I need to charge my stuff at in order to reach my goal, right? So your why, your ideal customer, if your ideal customer is a college student and you are selling cotton crop tops, they're not going to be able to buy $75 crop tops because they ain't got no money. So you're going to need to create these crop tops with yarn and patterns that help you make them really, really fast and really, really cheaply, so you can keep the cost down for your ideal customer, or you're not going to be able to serve them. So keep your why in mind, keep your ideal customer in mind, and also keep your future in mind. So my main mentor is Jasmine Starr. I talk about her constantly. I love her to death. She always responds to my Instagram DMs, and usually with a voice memo, and she knows me by name, and we met in real life once, and I love her to pieces. And I listened to a very old either podcast or YouTube video years and years and years ago, because I've like binged all of her stuff. This is a very long time ago. When she first became a photographer, she started working for free. She was like, let me photograph your wedding and I won't charge you a dime. And that's what she did for like a while, right? And then she started second shooting. So if you have a professional photographer, you'll get a second shooter for free, because she knew the value of working under this professional that already had built the business of her dreams, right? She knew the value of that. So she was a second shooter for free. She knew that when you're first starting out, you need to build your profile or your cred, right? You need to have the social proof that it takes to let new clients or customers know that you are legit. And you're not like just a weirdo off the street. You are a legit business person in your field, right? An expert in whatever field that it is that your ideal customer that you serve. So it is okay to start your prices off kind of low, on the lower end of what you would like them to be. Don't let pride get in your way to the point where you can't grow your business because you try right out of the gate with no social credit whatsoever to sell your things for $300 a piece. That doesn't mean you will never be able to sell them for $300 a piece. You absolutely will. It's supply and demand. As your name gets out there, more people are going to start buying. And as your orders start going up, you're going to have to raise your prices. That's just how it works. When I started selling my Claire Bun beanies in December 2018 or 19, I truly don't remember. It's going to be in my masterclass here in a little bit, in a couple weeks. So come join me for that. But I was selling them for $15 a piece. And then I raised them to $18 because I was getting significant sales. I was like, okay, I could probably go up to 18 and not stop the flow of sales, right? And then I went up to 20 and I was like sick to my stomach. I was like, oh, $20 beanies. My goodness. And then by the grace of God, I went up to 25. And after I went up to 25, my shop went viral and I had 1,000 orders in December of the next year. The next year I started selling them. And this is all in my masterclass that I'm going to be having in February, the end of February. But if I hadn't started my prices at 15, I might not have got to the point where I could charge $30. I'm at 30 now, but I was at 25 when my shop went viral. and I was making really good money because it cost me one skein of I Love This yarn, and the prices was lower then. They were like $1 cheaper than what they are now. And I could make 2.5 Claire bun beanies from one skein of I Love This yarn. And then I paid for my tag that went on the thing. And then they paid for shipping. And that covered like my poly mailers and everything. And because free shipping wasn't as big of a deal back then as it was now. Back then, like 2019. But because I started low, I was able to move up. And you will always be able to move up. But going the opposite direction is not good. Is very bad. So I have 400 students right now currently enrolled inside of Crochet Boss Academy. If I said tomorrow, oh, I'm going to give it a special for Crochet Boss Academy 2023 and you guys get it for $50, that is spitting in the face of the people that paid $350 for it. That is me saying, I don't value you as a customer. I don't value the money you invested in me. I'm going to get the money that I can and do $50 a person. That is not good psychology. I would never, ever do that to them. I value my students so high, and I would never do that to them. So going backwards is, you never want to do that. That sets the bad, unless you haven't made a sale yet, and then you go backwards. But then at the same time, it's still setting bad psychology, because that's, even if people saw your price and then they saw that you lowered it, they're going to think, wow, she doesn't even value her own work. Why would I buy it? So it's just bad psychology all the way around. So always know that you can raise your prices, but lowering them is not a good idea. I hope that was helpful. I'm going to go ahead and click off of Nicole's as well, because this is the same question. Nancy says, I'm selling hats for $5 and struggle to get money. I'm a crocheter who sells to donate to the homeless. So Nancy, it sounds like to me that maybe you are a hobbyist more than a business owner, and that's okay. Hobby is excellent. You just need to focus on it from a different perspective. And if you're setting, so your prices might be too low. You might be telling people, or actually more than that, more than them being too low, you're not finding your ideal customer. You need to find people who care very deeply about homeless shelters. They care so much about homeless shelters that they're going to buy 5 of your beanies because they know that you are trying to build something to help support homeless shelters. So you need to find your ideal customer, and you need to speak directly to them. You need to be talking about how you donate what percentage of your profits to what homeless shelters. Talk about what those homeless shelters are doing for their people. Show pictures of them. Show pictures of you serving at homeless shelters. Show pictures of you with a group of church friends all crocheting beanies to sell to help raise money for these homeless shelters. You need to be very proactive in telling people what they're paying for, because if they just see a $5 beanie, they're not going to be passionate about that. But if you speak to their emotions and you speak to what things that they're passionate about, other people who are passionate about helping the homeless will be passionate about purchasing your beanies, because you are doing what they're passionate about, right? And also, if they invest in you, you're going to be able to raise your prices. You're going to be able to grow your reach, which is going to create more money for the homeless shelters. And you should be telling people all these things, and you should be posting about it on social media, and you should be having, you probably need a really good way for them to buy from you. If you're still doing like Facebook Messenger and text and Venmo and email and PayPal and all the things, it's very, very complicated. You're not making it easy for them to buy things from you. So you probably need some sort of e-commerce site like Etsy, or build your own if you're techie. But it doesn't, I would suggest Etsy. That's the easiest thing to do. Yes, you have to pay fees, but you give your customers a smooth purchasing experience. If I have to go all over God's green earth to buy something from you, I'm not going to buy it. Like, even if your page doesn't load, like if I'm searching, like I just go, like I type in something and I hit shop on Google and I'm searching. If I click on one and the page is taking too long to load, I will exit off and click on the next one. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. So you need to make it as easy as possible for them to check out with you to get more sales. %, funding goes to the homeless. Okay, so you say that you post on Instagram and Facebook the benefits. I'm talking consistently on a regular basis. And also, you need to be engaging with the people. Engage with the people that engage with you. You need to be engaging with other people who are passionate about homeless shelters. You could also look into doing collaborations with people with bigger followings that are passionate about helping homeless shelters. There's lots of things that you can continue to do. If something's not working, you're going to have to pivot and try something else until you find something that works perfectly. But the best thing that you can do is to find your ideal customer, other people who are passionate about homeless shelters / wear beanies, right? Find them, speak directly to them, create a community around this common passion, and go from there. We have some more questions. Let's see. Nicole says, how much time is Crochet Boss Academy? Very good question, Nicole. It is, let me start by saying, once you purchase Crochet Boss Academy, you are in forever. You will have access to the content forever. You will have access to any updates or additions forever. You will have access to the live replays of each class's Facebook page forever. The course that we do together is for 6 weeks, but you can go at your own pace. You can go faster than, well, no, you can't go faster than us because I've got it set to where you can only do 1 week at a time, but you don't have to go through it the same time that we go through it. It's more fun that way because you get like the community aspect of people hanging out together, all working on the same things. Oh, we are past 6:30. Okay, this is the last one. So sorry. The joy of crafting, please save your question for next week. I hope you'll come back because that is a really fun question and I would love to answer that one next week. But Crochet Boss Academy is 6 weeks long, but you have the content forever. The modules, there are 6 modules, 6 weeks, 6 modules. They drop on a Saturday, the Saturday morning, or maybe even like Friday at midnight Eastern Standard Time. I think it might be midnight, but that way you get all weekend to dive into that module. And then all throughout the week, I'm going to be posting like 3 times a day in the exclusive Facebook group, prompts and exercises and brainstorming sessions and all of these things so you can rely on the community as a whole to help each other, to lift each other up, to encourage one another, and to hold each other accountable. Like if you were in the group and you said, I'm going to work on my branding board today, and you made a friend, she's going to message you later. She's like, hey, how'd your branding board turn out? Like, that's accountability. She's not saying, did you get your branding board done? She's not like, she's just saying, oh, how did it, because she's excited because she made her branding board and she wants to see your branding board. It's going to create community and accountability and encouragement. And it's a really, really, really fun environment. I highly recommend joining the Facebook group. It's not required, but it's highly, highly recommended. But it is 6 weeks long. Thank you, Nicole, for that question. Okay, guys, that was quick. My goodness, so quick. I love these things. I could talk to you guys for hours, but I'm trying to stick to a time frame, right? I'm trying to be consistent and stick to a time frame and say what do what I say I'm going to do, right? So I will see you guys here next week. How many Tuesdays do we have left? Today's the 7th. We have 2 more Tuesdays left for January, and then we have February, and I think I already chose my dates and times for February. So this hasn't been announced yet, but because you guys are hanging out here with me live today or catching the replay, I see you replay watchers. We are going to be doing Ask Ashley's on Thursdays in February, and they are going to be at 11:30 a.m. So these ones have been in the p.m. February, Thursdays, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time in the a.m. from 11:30 to 12. So that is what we're going to be doing in February. So we have 2 more weeks in January because today's the 17th. So we have the 24th and the 31st at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we're going to move to February. And the good news is February 2nd, Gabe's birthday, is a Thursday, right? But January 31st is a Tuesday. So that week we're going to have 2 Ask Ashleys. We're going to meet on Tuesday and we're going to meet again on Thursday. So it's going to be a really fun time. I will get those posted on YouTube before the end of the month so you guys can go ahead and hit that notify me button. But if you have your 2023 content calendar and you want to go ahead and write in those dates, that is what they will be. All right, friends, I hope you have a wonderful night and a wonderful rest of your week. I will see you over on Instagram and in your inbox and in all of the places. Thank you for being here. You mean so very dang much to me. Have a wonderful night.